Hello and welcome to Spread Book Joy. Today I want to talk to you about one of my favourite children's publishers, Chicken House Books. If you're new to the channel, I'm Jack and I'm a teacher and I share great books for children for home or school, and I'm going to share with you one of my absolute favourite children's publishers who I can guarantee you will get quality books from. Chicken House are a small UK based publisher started by Barry Cunningham in the year 2000, and they are absolutely wonderful. They're not just a small indie publisher that you can only get in the UK. They are also have links with Scholastic, so they're distributed in US, Australia, New Zealand, so they're distributed all around the world. But what I really like about them, they're a very small creative publishing team, and they are wonderful for finding new writing talent for children, and they're also picking really nice diverse authors and tales, and I discovered them because I bought this amazing looking book here, Asha and the Spirit Bird, about a year and a half ago. Look at that cover, just absolutely stunning book. And the reason I picked this up, well, the cover drew me into it, but I love the back of it and the premise. And Jaspinder Billen is one of the authors that they discovered through an annual children's fiction competition that they run in conjunction with the Times newspaper. Never heard of this competition before, but every year now I am buying the winner who gets published by Chicken House. So they want debut authors, they publish their work, and yeah, they're absolutely stunning books. They've been doing it since 2007. I have only read a couple of their winners, but I can guarantee you that it's the quality of the writing, the imagination of the writers, and just the experience of reading these books is a really superior reading experience for middle grade. So first of all, I'm going to talk about that's the publisher. I can't praise them highly enough. The other thing I really like about them is they're clearly searching out new talent and they value that, but how much they value children's reading, to me, is expressed in how beautifully presented their books are. Their books are always stunning. They seek out these amazing illustrators to do the covers. Some of them are illustrated throughout, like Asha has these tiny illustrations throughout, and Julie from the Hungry Bookworm recently talked about some middle grade books that she's been enjoying as an adult. There's a big range of people who enjoy middle grade books as adults. I'm thinking of doing a video on that at some point. If you are one of those people, leave a comment down below as to why you particularly like reading children's books as an adult. I'd be interested to find out because I've got a few ideas, but it'd be interesting to find out what people think. I'm going to put it out on Instagram as well. But this one drew me in because of the cover, and then the back, it's had this 3-word review which had at the bottom there, which just said magical Indian adventure, and I was sold. So I like the fact that they take such care, and they're obviously really passionate about producing great literature for children, and I think lots of it will stand the test of time. So without further ado, I'm just going to run through some of the books that I actually have. Some of them are on my TBR, they're not read yet, but that's because my TBR is just getting out of control, so I will get to them at some point soon. But first of all, Asha. I have a full review video of Asha, which is about 20 minutes long, 20 odd minutes long, where I also do some artwork and illustrate the character of Asha while I talk about the book and the synopsis and the themes and all these ideas that I would have for teaching it. I kind of did those videos for teachers, but not many teachers seem to be watching my channel, so, but we'll see. Maybe it'll have a resurgence and someone will discover these videos. But if you want a really in-depth overview of Asha, you can check that out. If you are a teacher and you're watching, there's a free plan that goes with this book that I wrote as well, so check that out. But basically the premise is a girl called Asha is living in a small village in the Himalaya in India, and her father has gone off to the city to work, and he's disappeared and left her and her mother and her younger sibling, I think she's got one younger sibling, maybe two, and they're in trouble. Their dad hasn't sent them a letter or any money in 6 months, and they're in debt. Mum's gone into debt to buy, I think it was a tractor or something like that, because they're farming, it's a farming community, and at the start of the book they're being threatened with eviction, and Asha decides to go on a journey to find her father, and it's a magical realism book, so scattered throughout it, and this has become Jaspinder Billen's sort of key style, if you like, is magical realism. It's poetic in the writing, the way it's describing the the countryside, the animals. Asha and the spirit bird that she talks about. The spirit bird is a lammergeier, which is a type of vulture which is found in that area of India, and it's just beautiful. I had to look it up online. It was just such a stunning bird. But Asha herself she's very she likes the mystical, and she takes all these certain things as signs, and she goes on this journey to find her father. So she journeys from her small village in the Himalayas all the way over the mountains and goes to this city where her dad is supposed to be working to find him. So it's a great adventure book and just beautifully written. Sticking with Jasbinder Bilan, her follow-up novel was Tamarind and the Star of Ishtar. She's got another book coming out this summer, which I'm really, fingers crossed, hoping to get a proof copy of, if I'm lucky enough to get advance one to read. But Tamarind and the Star of Ishtar is another magical realism book set in India, but this time the character Tamarind, she goes over to India to visit her mother's family. Her mother died when she was younger, and her father and her live in England, and she's never visited her mother's family before. In fact, she doesn't even know much about what happened to her mother, or there's lots going on that she doesn't know about, and there are family secrets. And again, sprinkled throughout all this magical realism, but these gorgeous descriptions of India, and I just transported by her writing. She's wonderful. Space Oddity, I got this out of the library, so sorry if it's a bit shiny, it's covered in the library backing. But Space Oddity is a middle grade sci-fi story, and it was just a lot of fun. This one's more fun, I think, than like sort of beautifully written or poetic, but it is a really lovely book. And also, Space Oddity, there are references to David Bowie throughout, which is perfect for me because I'm a big Bowie fan. A Secret of Birds and Bone is by one of my favourite children's authors, Kieran Millward Hargrave. I have a review of it already, so I'll just mention briefly that it's set in Siena in some time in the historical past, and there has been an outbreak of some disease, I'm not sure what, but on the outskirts of Siena, Sophia lives with her mother, who is a bone builder, and Sophia and her brother live with her mother, and I think they've got a pet raven or crow, Corvith, I think the crow's called, and they stay away from the main parts of the city where there's lots of disease, and they've got a well with sweet water in it, and they're on the outskirts. And her mother carves amazing things out of bone, and one morning, it's Sophia's birthday, and she says to Sophia, actually, I've got some secrets to tell you, and then disappears, and Sophia and her brother end up on an adventure. It's dark at times, but beautifully written, and they find out why her mother disappeared and what's going on with the plague in the city and everything else. It's just a beautiful book. And again, talking about Chicken House and the care they take over their covers, look at this, I just love it. It's embossed, it's beautiful, and then inside throughout it's the whole thing, you can see the side there, it means it's illustrated, so all the way throughout it's just beautifully decorated, and it just makes me really happy. Also, yeah, when you look underneath you get this kind of hidden treasure, I like to call it, under dust jackets. But Kieran Millward Hargrave, I'm going to do a video on her as an author. I just love her writing. I'm not hugely into flowery writing. I appreciate well written things. I appreciate beautiful prose, but there's not many authors that I go, oh, I just love their writing, it's just so beautiful. For a reader, I'm a plot person. I'm really a plot person. But Kieran Millward Hargrave's writing, I love it. It's just something very magical about it, and it's very transportative, and it's very lyrical and poetic, and she's just got this real, I do love fairy tales, and I do love that kind of aspect, and there's a real magical element to her writing that always draws me in. So she is a fantastic writer, so I'd highly recommend her. Next up was the other Chicken House winner that I've read, which was the winner of the 2019 Times Chicken House Fiction Prize, and I've only got a proof copy, but I'm going to put a picture of the cover up because it's stunning. I have got a review video for this one as well, because I was sent this for an impartial review and I loved it. It's set in a Nigerian village. Simi is from Lagos, and she is sent to visit spend the summer with her grandmother, who she's never met, and her grandmother, it turns out, is like a local wise woman, and in the village the first day that Simi's there, she has a really frightening experience involving some quicksand and a local lake, and she discovers that there are legends surrounding it, and it's very much tied in with Yoruba myths and legends, which are all throughout the book. But it's also, you know, it's about finding appreciation for your culture and your roots, which Simi does by the end of the book, and it's just a wonderful read. Again, really well written. I couldn't put it down actually, and I finished it really quickly. So yeah, I'll pop the card up for that review video as well. Another one I was sent as a proof, and I'm going to put the actual thing on the screen so you can see it, is by Oakthorne by Melissa Harrison. I did another review of this as well, and I loved this one. This was very heartwarming. This book was all about 3 tiny little guardians of nature, and they're these 3 tiny little kind of like pixies or brownies or fairies, you'd probably think of them, but they guard the natural world and they take care of it, and they've noticed that humans are encroaching on it, and then one of them starts to notice that he's disappearing, so they go on a journey to see if they can find any more of their kind, because they think they might be the last ones left. And across this journey they go from the countryside into the city to the human, I think they call it the human nest, I can't remember, but watch my review. But they're basically, the book is just so sweet. These characters are so sweet, they're lovely. It gave me those kind of warm vibes you get from reading The Wind in the Willows and things like that. And I love a nature book. I love a book based in nature. The author Melissa Harrison is a nature writer, an award-winning nature writer, and this is her first book for children. So all the way through the book she uses the proper names for things. You get tons and tons of information about nature and about animals and flora and fauna in the city as well as in the countryside, so it makes it really accessible for children to recognise where they live. And then you start thinking, right, I should look out for nature wherever I am as well, and it's wonderful. It's just a beautiful environmental book about remembering that we're here to take care of the planet as well. We don't own the planet, that we share it with all these other birds and creatures and plants and animals, and I just thought it was beautifully done. Yeah, check out my review for that one too. I'll pop a card up for that. Last 2 I want to show you are TBR books. One is Darwin's Dragons, and I did a book haul recently where I showed this, but this is another Chicken House book, and it's about a boy who's a cabin boy on one of Charles Darwin's ships, and he falls overboard and he lands on an island, and he makes a great discovery, great scientific discovery. And just look at the cover, absolutely lovely, and I've just heard so many good things about it on Instagram. It just looks delightful. Another TBR book which I talked about in my book haul video, which was Morgana Mage in the Robotic Age, get that right, by Amy Bond, and it's all about a witch but set in the future, which is a different premise, but I just love that cover as well, really nice. Haven't got reviews of either of these, obviously I haven't read these yet, but I just think they're absolutely stunning, and I can guarantee I'm going to enjoy them because Chicken House books are wonderful, and I'm just singing their praises. No one's making me do this, I just know that whenever they have a book release I'm going to like it. So if you're a parent or an aunt or an uncle or a friend who's buying books for children, or a teacher, if you want something that's high quality writing and engaging and just fun, and actually will give children, because I like the fact that they've gone for authors from various parts of the world, whose experiences from various parts of the world. I mean, Jacinda Billen's British, however she remembers her childhood holidays in India. I think she lived in there till a certain age, right, she was quite young, but she would always visit there. And then you've got Efwa Traore, who wanted to write a book which gave a real experience of what it's like to be Nigerian. And actually, whilst it's full of mythology and everything else, there are some parts of it which are just about everyday life. So yeah, I like this. It's widening horizons. They're, you know, looking for great quality authors and just fun stories. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing, clicking like, leaving a comment, and hopefully I'll see you again here soon. Bye.